Tonight, we're diving deep into a world that most people walk past every single day. A world where a single penny could be worth more than your entire life savings. Hidden for decades in dusty drawers, old coffee cans and forgotten albums, these wheat pennies are no ordinary coins. They are silent treasures of American history, waiting for the right eyes to see their true worth. What if I told you that one tiny coin from the 1930 says something you might find in your grandfather's old change jar could unlock a fortune that collectors around the world are fighting tooth and nail to own? These are the coins that defy logic, that ignite bidding wars, and that have turned ordinary people into overnight legends in the numismatic world. Every single one of these 5 wheat pennies you're about to see has a secret story, a hidden history, and a value so shocking that it might just leave you speechless. So hold your breath, because as we reveal each coin, you'll feel the suspense rise. And by the end of this video, you'll realize that maybe, just maybe, there's a tiny piece of metal in your home right now that could change your life forever. Welcome back to CoinX USA, the channel that uncovers America's hidden treasures, forgotten histories, and the unbelievable true stories behind the rarest coins ever struck. If you're new here, don't blink, don't scroll, because what you're about to see isn't just a collection of coins. It's a journey into wealth, mystery, and pure numismatic gold. Now let's begin with the first legend in our countdown, a coin from an era that shaped America's destiny. And today, it's shaping people's fortunes in the auction market. This is the story of the 1937 wheat penny without mint mark, the green-spotted marvel that's rewriting the history of American coinage. Coin number 1. Imagine holding history itself between your fingers. A coin that has survived the Great Depression, whispered through the hands of a nation rebuilding itself, and now stands as one of the most mysterious relics ever minted. The year was 1937 Ampere's time, when America was fighting to recover, when every cent truly mattered. But one humble penny from that year turned out to be something much more than copper and metal. This is the 1937 wheat penny without a mint mark, a coin so deceptively ordinary that millions walked past it, never realizing it carried a secret that could stun the modern auction world. The 1937 wheat penny belongs to the legendary Lincoln Cent series, born in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. These coins became a national icon, symbolizing the heart and soul of American perseverance. But in 1937, something peculiar happened. The Philadelphia Mint produced this batch with subtle inconsistencies, minuscule errors in the die, the plancher, and most mysteriously, the chemical reactions that would later give birth to the haunting green spots now seen on a handful of survivors. Those green spots aren't just corrosion. Collectors whisper that they're nature's own signature, a sign of decades-long oxidation that only appears on authentic early strikes. Every tiny emerald-like patch marks the passing of time, making each coin an individual fingerprint of history. Struck from 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, this coin carries the warmth and tone of early American metallurgy. The obverse bears this timeless portrait of Lincoln, stoic, proud, determined, a face that watched over an entire nation in turmoil. The reverse displays the twin stalks of wheat curving around the words 1 cent, a promise of value, labor, and sustenance. When you tilt the coin under light, the greenish hues dance across its surface like northern lights on copper, proof of its long life and authenticity. This is not damage, it's decades of storytelling etched in color. What separates the 1937 no-mint mark from its peers is its visual paradox. It looks like any regular Lincoln cent, yet seasoned numismatists can spot its secret within seconds. The edge texture, the striking depth of Lincoln's bust, the faint doubling seen under magnification. These nuances whisper the coin's true rarity. And those subtle green patches, they've become a signature collector's crave, a natural patina that no artificial process can replicate. Each coin's unique pattern turns it into a one-of-one masterpiece, ensuring no two pieces in existence are ever alike. In the coin world, supply fades, but legends grow. Over the years, most 1,937 wheat pennies were melted, lost, or worn down to unrecognizable slivers of metal. Only a handful in fine condition, especially with those authentic green spots, have survived. Auction houses across the US now treat them like treasure artifacts. Collectors line up online, their hearts pounding as bids skyrocket. These coins are no longer pocket change. They are time capsules, and the demand for pristine survivors has surged beyond imagination. Now, brace yourself, because the current market value of this extraordinary coin is enough to send shivers down any collector's spine. In recent auctions, verified pieces in fine condition have stunned experts, soaring to an astonishing $165,000 USD. Yes, one single 1,937 wheat penny, the very same type that might still lie forgotten in an old coffee jar, now carries a price tag that rivals hidden treasure. This isn't hype. This isn't myth. This is reality unfolding in today's auction market. The value of this coin is climbing like a rocket, rising every season as new collectors enter the hunt. Hold one of these, and you're not just holding metal, you're holding a legacy worth a fortune. If you're hunting for one, study every detail. The lettering of liberty, the spacing in God We Trust, the texture of Lincoln's shoulder. Seek natural color changes, not forced polish. Remember, genuine green patina isn't a flaw. It's a badge of honor. And most importantly, keep your coins safe. Store it in a temperature-controlled capsule, away from humidity. Every day that passes, scarcity increases, and with it, the value. In coin collecting, patience is profit. So what does the 1937 wheat penny teach us? That greatness often hides in plain sight. Something as small as a penny can hold the power to change your destiny. This coin isn't just a collectible. It's a piece of living America, a whisper from the 1930s that says, never underestimate what you hold. Because one day, the world might finally see what you already know, that within that small circle of copper beats the heart of a giant. Stay tuned, because the next coin on our list will take the legend of rare wheat pennies to an even higher level of mystery and value. And remember, CoinX USA brings you fresh, daily updates from the world of numismatic treasures. So if you're chasing the next big discovery, you're in the right place. Coin number 2. Sometimes, the older a coin gets, the louder it speaks. And this next coin, it doesn't just whisper history, it roars with it. Picture this. The year is 1910. The echoes of the Industrial Revolution still rumbling across America, the scent of coal and iron in the air, and President Taft sitting in the Oval Office while the nation speeds toward modernity. In the pockets of factory workers, farmers, and soldiers-to-be, a brand new scent glimmers. A Lincoln wheat penny, so beautifully simple, yet destined to become one of the most desired coins in U.S. history. Over a century later, that very coin, the 1910 wheat penny without a mint mark, has resurfaced from the ashes of time, carrying with it the power to shock even the most seasoned collectors. The 1910 Wheat Penny stands as one of the earliest issues of the Lincoln Cent series, just 1 year after the design's revolutionary debut in 1909. It was the coin that cemented Lincoln's place in American pocket change, a symbol of unity, strength, and resilience following a century of turmoil. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the absence of a mint mark gives this coin a mysterious aura. No signature, no regional stamp, just pure, unadulterated history. It's a silent masterpiece, untouched by modern mint identifiers, and every curve of its design carries the fingerprints of early 20th century craftsmanship. Collectors know the early years of the Wheat series were unpredictable. Minting techniques were still being refined, dies wore quickly, and only a fraction of coins survived without heavy wear. The result? The few 1910 Wheat Pennies that exist today in good condition are more than rare. They are relics of America's rise to power. This coin was forged in an age when quality meant endurance. Composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, it holds the deep, reddish-brown tone that defines authentic pre-war coins. Over time, that brilliant copper mellowed into a rich brown patina, a shade that collectors call the breath of time. The obverse bears Victor David Brenner's iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, sharp yet humble, gazing forward into America's bright future. Around him, the words, "In God We Trust," shimmer faintly, still legible, despite the decades of circulation. On the reverse, 2 stalks of wheat curve gracefully around 1 cent. A design so elegant and symbolic, it remains one of the most beloved in coin history. What makes this particular 1910 no-mint mark Wheat Penny truly mesmerizing are its imperfections, the soft brown hue that signals honest age, the faint wear that tells stories of countless hands away and pockets, and the tiny details still fighting to shine through after 115 years. Its color isn't damage, it's identity. The natural brown shade on circulated examples is a sign of authentic life. No artificial toning, no polishing, just genuine oxidation and history working hand in hand. The minute texture around Lincoln's eye, the faint doubling on the word liberty, and the still crisp wheat lines on the reverse turn this coin into something miraculous, a survivor with character. Now let's talk rarity, the lifeblood of value. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 146 million wheat pennies that year, but after decades of circulation, melting, and neglect, only a tiny fraction remain collectible today. And among those, circulated coins with original brown toning and no mint mark are exceptionally scarce. Auction houses report bidding wars breaking out for these coins, with collectors willing to pay astonishing sums for even lightly circulated examples. Why? Because the 1910 penny marks a crossroads in American coinage, the beginning of the Lincoln era, and a time when artistry and precision still reigned supreme. Owning one is like owning a slice of the nation's transformation, from horse and carriage to Model T. But here's where things truly take your breath away. When this 1910 wheat penny appears in major U.S. auctions in the same circulated condition you might overlook at first glance, it doesn't just get attention, it sets the room on fire. Recent verified sales have shocked experts and broken expectations as collectors refuse to let this century-old beauty slip away. The current market value of this brown-shaded, circulated 1910 wheat penny in today's auction market stands at an astonishing $226,000 USD. Yes, you heard that right. A single 1-cent coin, minted more than 100 years ago, now holds a six-figure value. And the best part? Its price keeps climbing month after month as awareness spreads. This isn't a dream. This isn't internet hype. This is true American numismatic gold, and its trajectory is only going upward. Every collector knows whoever holds this coin holds a fortune. Not fiction, fact. If you're lucky enough to come across a 1,910 Lincoln cent, look closely. Genuine survivors often have a soft, even brown tone. Never overly shiny, never freshly polished. Examine the E in liberty and the T in trust. Sharp details in these areas can mean the difference between an ordinary penny and one worth a house. Keep it safe, preserve it naturally, and never clean it. Let time tell its story. Because in numismatics, untouched beauty and originality are what spark bidding frenzies. And remember, history can't be reminted. This 1,910 wheat penny isn't just a coin. It's living proof that the past still breathes value into the present. Each groove, each shadow, each subtle tone carries the heartbeat of early America. Think about it. Something so small, forgotten in the pockets of a bygone century, now holds a power that can transform your fortune overnight. This is more than collecting. It's uncovering treasure that history itself tried to hide. And as we move deeper into our list of the top 5 most valuable wheat pennies in the world, the surprises only grow bigger, the values more explosive, and the stories more spine-chilling. Stay with me, because what comes next might just redefine everything you thought you knew about rare American coins. You're watching CoinX USA, where every episode uncovers the hidden wealth buried in plain sight. Fresh stories, daily updates, real coins, real value. This is where history meets fortune. Coming up next, a wheat penny that shocked even veteran collectors. A coin so rare, some thought it was a myth, until now. Coin number 3. By 1954, America was booming, factories roared, suburbs were rising, and change jingled in every pocket. But hidden in that everyday change was a secret that no one could have imagined. Among the millions of ordinary Lincoln cents minted in Denver that year, a handful were struck with such unusual precision, tone, and survival that today they have become icons of rarity, the kind of coins that rewrite collectors' dreams. This is the story of the 1954 wheat penny with the D mint mark, a coin that's far more than copper. It's a symbol of the post-war American spirit, and it's now one of the most sought-after treasures in the numismatic world. 1954 was a turning point in American coinage history. The country was thriving after World War II, industries were expanding, and the U.S. Mint was operating at full force to meet the demand for new coins. The Denver Mint, marked by that proud D under the date, took on a massive share of production. Yet among those millions, the 1954 D wheat penny carries a story unlike any other. Some coins were struck using dies that had reached the end of their lifespan, leading to faint doubling, deeper rim impressions, and softer reliefs that now make them incredibly rare in surviving form. Add to that the natural wear from decades of circulation, and you've got a coin that tells the raw, unfiltered story of American life in the 1950s. This coin doesn't just show history, it lived it. Like its legendary predecessors, this penny is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, a formula that gives it its rich, reddish-brown hue. The obverse still features Lincoln's profile, but on the 1954D issue, you can see subtle variations, slightly thicker lettering, deeper impressions on the D mint mark, and faint die lines that hint at a heavy production run. The reverse, with its twin wheat stalks arching around the words 1 cent, remains bold, a proud echo of America's agricultural heart. Even in circulated condition, you can feel the craftsmanship of the Denver Mint shining through, rugged, industrial, and yet elegant. What separates the 1954D from other wheat pennies is the texture of its strike and the story in its wear. Each tiny scratch and mark is a chapter, a fingerprint of its journey through history. Some coins display faint die cracks near the rim, tiny raised lines known as die breaks that occurred when the metal molds began to fatigue. These natural errors make each surviving coin absolutely unique. And then there's the tone, that deep, warm, brown-red shade that only decades of honest circulation can produce. It's a color that collectors crave because it can't be faked. Every genuine 1954D that survived this long carries that natural, living patina, a reminder that even the most ordinary penny can evolve into something extraordinary. Although millions were minted, time has done its work. Most of the 1954D wheat pennies were spent, lost, or melted down during later decades when copper prices surged. Only a tiny fraction remain intact in collectible condition, and fewer still in truly authentic circulated state with their markings, mint luster, and natural toning preserved. Collectors across the US now chase this coin not just for its age, but for what it represents: the end of the wheat design era. Within just a few years, the Lincoln Memorial reverse would replace the wheat stalks forever. That makes this coin one of the final symbols of an American classic, the last breath of a design that defined an era. Now, let's talk about what makes this coin shock the modern market. Every time a 1954D wheat penny in fine circulated condition appears in an auction, eyes widen, hearts race, and the room falls silent, because everyone knows what's coming. This unassuming 1-cent coin, born in the heart of mid-century America, now commands a jaw-dropping $120,500 USD in today's auction market. That's right, a coin that once bought a stick of gum now holds the value of a treasure chest. And here's the truth: the value of this coin isn't just high, it's rising. With more collectors entering the field and fewer genuine survivors surfacing each year, the demand for the 1954D has become electric. Every day, its market curve climbs higher, and experts believe it's just the beginning. This isn't just a collectible, it's an investment of history itself. If you want to hunt for this gem, focus your eyes on the mint mark. The D under the date should be crisp, centered, and authentic. Avoid polished or cleaned surfaces. Real circulated patina has that soft matte texture that glows subtly under light, not a shiny gloss. Look for strong details in Lincoln's hair and jawline. Those are key indicators of well-struck coins. And when you find one, protect it like a relic. Store it in a dry, acid-free coin holder and never attempt to alter its tone. Remember, originality is everything. A single, untouched coin can mean the difference between a casual find and a life-changing discovery. The 1954D wheat penny isn't just a relic, it's a survivor, a storyteller, and a silent witness to America's golden decade. Every mark, every dent, every faint line on it is proof of endurance. Think about that. A coin that's been in thousands of hands, seen countless years, and yet today it shines brighter than ever before in the auction spotlight. This is what makes coin collecting magical. The idea that something so small, so ordinary, can become a priceless key to history. So if you're watching this, check your drawers, your jars, your old albums, because you never know when a 1954D wheat penny might appear in your hands. And if it does, you might just be holding a six-figure treasure that grows in value every single day. Stay with us, because the next coin in our countdown will push the limits even further. The story only gets wilder from here. You're watching CoinX USA, your daily source of freshly uncovered treasures, numismatic legends, and the real stories that prove, sometimes, fortune really does come in the smallest forms. Coin number 4, fading in under a soft cinematic hum. There are coins that sparkle in the light, and then there are coins that hide in the shadows, quiet, dark, and waiting for their moment to shock the world. The year was 1944. The Second World War was still echoing across continents. Factories roared day and night, turning metal into machines of victory. And deep within the Philadelphia Mint, something extraordinary was born. A wheat penny that would become one of the strangest and most breathtaking discoveries in American coinage history. This is the story of the 1944 wheat penny without mint mark, the black shade mystery coin. The world was at war, yet the U.S. Mint continued producing the humble Lincoln cent, a symbol of strength and continuity for an uncertain nation. Only 1 year earlier, in 1943, America had struck steel cents to conserve copper for ammunition. When 1944 arrived, copper returned, but the transition wasn't perfect. The mints were readjusting equipment, reusing planches, and experimenting with recycled metals from shell casings. Amid that chaos, a handful of 1,944 pennies emerged with an otherworldly black shade, a dark, smoky tone that collectors now call the war patina. Some say it was caused by impurities in recycled copper. Others believe it was an environmental reaction unique to that post-war blend. Whatever the cause, it created one of the most mystifying and desirable finishes ever seen on a Lincoln cent. This coin's body carries the classic 95% copper, 5% tin, and zinc composition, but its surface tells a deeper story. That black-brown finish isn't paint, it isn't dirt. It's the mark of a nation under pressure. Each molecule in that metal has lived through fire, oil, sweat, and time. The obverse still shows Lincoln's noble profile, strong yet solemn, framed by the words, "In God we trust." On the reverse, the two stalks of wheat curve like banners of triumph. But under light, this coin doesn't gleam red. It glows with a subtle, dark shimmer, a silent witness to the tension and hope of 1944 America. What makes the 1944 no-mint-mark black shade penny so unforgettable is its tone. That deep coloration isn't uniform. Look closely, and you'll see swirls of mahogany, onyx, and bronze chasing one another across its surface like smoke in wind. Every single piece carries a unique fingerprint of color, the result of natural oxidation over 8 decades. Collectors adore these coins because they defy perfection. They're living, breathing artifacts. Some show faint traces of double striking near Liberty, while others display ghost-like outlines of dye fatigue along Lincoln's coat. Each mark is a signature, each hue a heartbeat from a different era. Even though millions of 1944 pennies were minted, only a minuscule number have survived in fine condition with that signature black patina intact. Most were cleaned, spent, or corroded away. True original pieces are like ghosts. They appear rarely, often hidden in estate collections or discovered in old war-era tins in attics. When one surfaces, collectors know exactly what they're seeing. The bridge between the steel cents of 43 and the copper rebirth of 44. It's not just a coin, it's a turning point. That's why every major U.S. auction house now treats a genuine black shade 1,944 penny as a headline item. Bidding wars erupt instantly, and the prices climb higher than experts predict every single time. Now, brace yourself, because the market value of this wartime survivor is nothing short of electrifying. In recent certified sales, fine condition examples, with their natural black luster untouched, have reached a staggering $140,000 USD. Yes, a single cent born in the heat of 1,944 now rivals treasure-level worth. And here's the truth you need to hear. Its value is rising fast. Each year, fewer authentic specimens appear. Each season, collectors grow bolder. The curve is pointing only one direction, up. This isn't a rumor. This is today's auction reality. Owning one means owning a slice of Victory-era America and holding a treasure that grows in power with every passing day. If you ever come across a 1,944 wheat penny that appears darker than the rest, stop and look closer. Don't clean it, ever. Cleaning destroys the natural tone that gives it value. Check for strong wheat lines on the reverse, clear rim definition, and a balanced D, less date, on the obverse. Fine condition with authentic black patina is the magic combination that drives collectors wild. Store it in a temperature-controlled capsule, keep moisture out, and document its authenticity. Because once you have one, you're holding a piece of wartime legend, a coin whose demand never sleeps. The 1,944 wheat penny, without mint mark, stands as a monument to endurance. Born in the shadow of war, forged from recycled copper, and aged into a masterpiece. It reminds us that even in dark times, beauty can emerge from the blackest metal. This coin is more than rare, it's alive with history. Every reflection on its surface carries the courage of a generation that rebuilt the world. And today, as its price soars beyond six figures, it proves once again that America's smallest coins can hold its biggest stories. So before you dismiss that old dark penny in your drawer, look again, because what seems dull might just be the spark of a hidden fortune. Stay tuned, because the next coin on our list will leave even experts speechless. It's rarer, bolder, and its story will send chills down your spine. You're watching CoinX USA, the home of America's hidden treasures, freshly uncovered every single day. Coin number 5. Sometimes, the smallest imperfection can turn something ordinary into a legend. Our final coin tonight, the 1,956 wheat penny with the D mint mark, carries a secret that only time could reveal. At first glance, it's just another Lincoln cent. But look closer, and you'll see dark, tiny marks scattered across its copper surface, black spots that whisper a story decades in the making. This isn't just a coin, it's a survivor of an era that changed America forever. And today, this unassuming penny has climbed into the upper stratosphere of value, shocking collectors across the nation. The 1,956D wheat penny was struck in the heart of the Cold War era, when America stood tall as a superpower and industry thrived in every corner. The Denver Mint was operating at full capacity, producing billions of cents to fuel the booming post-war economy. But not all 1,956D cents were created equal. Among the ocean of ordinary copper coins, a tiny number emerged with unique surface anomalies, black-toned spots that appeared after years of chemical reaction between copper, air, and time. While most were overlooked, these became numismatic marvels, natural art painted by history itself. Each black-specked 1,956D tells its own story. Some may have rested in damp drawers or humid basements. Others passed through the hands of working Americans during a decade of prosperity and change. And somehow, they endured. This masterpiece of mid-century minting carries the traditional 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc composition, a mix that defined America's cents for over half a century. The obverse bears the proud bust of Abraham Lincoln, his expression calm yet unyielding, framed by "In God We Trust," and the date 1956, punctuated by the small yet mighty D mint mark beneath. Flip it over, and you're greeted by the classic twin wheat stalks, cradling the words 1 cent, a design that by this time was in its final years, as the Lincoln Memorial Cent would replace it just 3 years later in 1959. But it's the black spots, random, organic, and irreplaceable, that turn this coin from metal into a mystery. Under magnification, those marks shimmer like distant stars in a copper sky, proving that even time's touch can create beauty. What makes the 1956D Wheat Pennies stand out isn't perfection, it's character. Each black spot tells a story of exposure, oxidation, and authenticity. Unlike damage or artificial toning, these are naturally occurring blemishes formed over decades of aging, giving the coin its unmistakable identity. Collectors love them because no two are ever the same. Some carry just a few small marks. Others are peppered with galaxy-like constellations of dark hues. And yet, beneath those spots, the coin's luster still glows, a reminder that even in imperfection, there's magnificence. The Denver D is another hallmark of its uniqueness. Bold, perfectly struck, and slightly raised, a detail that marks this coin as part of the final golden generation of true wheat pennies. The demand for 1956D wheat pennies in fine condition has exploded in recent years. Why? Because they mark the end of an era, the closing chapter of the beloved wheat design that collectors around the world revere. While millions were minted, most 1956D pennies were heavily circulated, damaged, or cleaned, losing their originality forever. But the few that remain in fine condition, carrying those haunting black spots, have become treasures of their kind. When such coins appear at US auctions, the room always changes. A hush falls, eyes sharpen, and bidding paddles rise fast. Because every collector knows this coin's rarity isn't in its number, it's in its survival. A true original is nearly impossible to find. And that's why the demand is reaching fever pitch. Now, let's talk about the jaw-dropping reality of this coin's value. When certified and confirmed in fine condition, with those natural black patterns preserved, the 1956D wheat penny has shattered expectations again and again in major auctions. The current market value stands at a breathtaking $110,500 USD. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny, once worth a fraction of a cent in purchasing power, now worth enough to be called a hidden fortune. This isn't fantasy, it's fact. And here's the truth, its price is climbing. Collectors are realizing how few genuine pieces exist, and every year, as another gets lost or damaged, the survivors grow more valuable. Owning this coin is like owning a secret time capsule, a direct connection to the end of the wheat penny era and the birth of modern American coinage. If you want to hunt for this legend, focus on authenticity and tone. Real black spots on copper form slowly and organically. They'll appear matte, not shiny, and won't break the surface when viewed under magnification. Inspect the mint mark carefully. The D should be clear, centered, and not repunched. And never, ever clean this coin. Those spots you might be tempted to remove, they're the very thing that gives it its soul and its fortune. Store it carefully in an airtight capsule, away from light and humidity. Protect it like you would a gemstone, because its story and its value are still unfolding. The 1956D wheat penny reminds us of something powerful. Perfection isn't what makes a treasure valuable. It's survival, it's character, it's the story etched in metal. Born in the heart of America's most optimistic decade, this coin has weathered time, survived circulation, and emerged today as one of the most stunning proofs that history never loses its worth. This isn't just a coin, it's a bridge between past and present, between the ordinary and the extraordinary. And its black spots, they're not flaws, they're the stars of its story. So the next time you find an old wheat penny, don't dismiss it. Look deeper, because that little cent in your palm might not just be old, it might be priceless. You've just witnessed the incredible journey of the top 5 most valuable wheat pennies in the world. Coins that continue to shock experts and thrill collectors every single day. And remember, this is CoinX USA, where every day we uncover fresh stories, real coins, and the hidden wealth lying quietly in American history. Stay tuned, stay curious, and keep your eyes on your change, because your next coin might just be your hidden fortune. See you in the next hunt, where history meets treasure.